The year 2011 began on January 31st. Nicole Moore, 39, is enjoying her day at the beach in Cancun, where she is on vacation with friends from her exercise group back home in Orangeville, Ontario. A great white shark attacked Nicole Moore. The brutal attack left her with serious injuries, including a leg that was cut off. In this video, we'll go into more detail about the attack and what happened afterward. We'll also look at how it affected Nicole and the people around her. So, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. Let's begin. Nicole's friends want to go back to the hotel for lunch after a hard game of volleyball on the beach, but she tells them to go ahead without her because she'd rather go for a swim to relax and wash the sand off her skin. She doesn't know it yet, but this choice is going to change her life for the better, put her beliefs to the test, and scare anyone who hears this story. Cancun is without a doubt one of the most well-known vacation destinations in all of Mexico. The city's location on the Caribbean Sea contributes to its abundance of hotels, nightclubs, shopping malls, vibrant open-air markets, and restaurants catering to families. Like the calm, sandy beaches with the white sand. When Nicole Moore got into the lake that afternoon, she had no valid reason to feel threatened in any way. In fact, she was ecstatic to be on vacation, and every cell in her body was tingling with pleasure over the volleyball match that she had just finished playing. Nicole didn't even swim very far from the shore. Rather, she was in the deeper water, working to remove the sand that had accumulated on her body while playing the game. She was unaware that her actions were bringing anything from beneath the waves to the surface, and she was also unaware that there were two sharks swimming in the water with her at the time. Hence, she reasoned that the two people on jet skis that she saw when she glanced up from the ocean to see them were other people who enjoyed Carefree Beach. She couldn't hear what they were saying to her, but she saw them gesturing and waving their arms at her in Spanish from a distance. Since she couldn't understand what they were saying, she believed they were being kind. Nicole flashed a kind smile and waved back at the two individuals before continuing to take pleasure in her swim. But then the two people raged at each other once again, and Nicole got the sickening feeling that something dreadful was about to happen. When something icy and slimy brushed up against her body, the woman, who was 39 at the time, immediately felt an overwhelming sense of dread. A fleeting notion crossed her mind that perhaps it was a child who was snorkeling, but whom she had not yet encountered. When Nicole peered down, she noticed that the water had abruptly acquired a bright red color from the presence of her own blood. The enormous mouth had just opened and was squeezing her. Even though she couldn't feel the pain, the horrifying sight was enough for the woman to realize that she was in a lot of trouble. Endorphins, which are essentially the body's natural painkillers, are released into the system whenever there is a very high response to the hormone adrenaline in the body. It should therefore not come as a surprise that Nicole was unaware of the severity of her injuries, despite the fact that the shark's teeth had punctured her skin all the way down to the bone and tore two of her quadriceps and two of her hamstrings. The bite from the shark tore off large chunks of meat and skin from Nicole. The woman was frantic to get out of the water because she kept thinking of her two little daughters, Tia and Ella, who were only 6 and 7 years old respectively, and were much too young to lose their mother. Nicole Moore made the decision to engage in combat. Because of the terrible bite that was given to her left leg, she was unable to move it or stand on it, so she was forced to use her arms instead. The woman, who was a mother of 2, attempted to swim to shore using her arms, but the inertia of her wounded legs made the movements clumsy and slowed her down significantly. Nicole fought tooth and nail to make forward progress despite the violent waves. There was no mistaking the fact that the terrifying shark wanted another taste for flesh as it followed her around. Nicole was attacked by the beast, which pounced on her and immediately seized her left arm. The woman's entire arm was caught in the shark's jaws at one point. The teeth, which resembled needles, gripped the object firmly. As the shark attempted to drag Nicole beneath the water, she experienced a great deal of strain. Yet, the sight of the shark's teeth, which were pointed and glaring, gave her additional resolve. In the face of danger and the possibility of death, she lifted her right hand. She began to strike the shark in an irregular manner until she was able to land a blow with her open hand on the nose of the animal. Despite the fact that sharks' eyes and gills are the most sensitive parts of their bodies, just one punch was enough to save her. It's possible to release a shark's grip by hitting the shark's nose in just the right spot, which is exactly what happened with this shark. It let go of Nicole's gravely injured left arm and swam away, but the woman's ordeal was far from over. The ordeal continued for the woman. Nicole was a nurse, so she understood that her wounds were so severe that she could lose consciousness and drown even though she was fighting for her life. She had no choice but to scream for aid from now on. She wasn't on her own in the water, thank goodness. The desire to assist another individual who was struggling is ingrained in the human psyche. Before she could be swept away by the gory waves, one of the people who had been trying to warn her about the shark came to her aid. He grabbed Nicole's right arm and dragged her ashore, leaving a trail of scarlet blood in the water as they approached the beach. Nicole felt a modicum of relief now that she was on the shore, but she continued to lose strength despite this. An emergency procedure that would last for 8 hours was performed on her as a last-ditch effort to preserve her life. In order to ensure that the woman's heart would not cease beating, the physicians were forced to insert a central line into her chest and pump many units of blood into her body. After Nicole regained consciousness in the medical facility, both her father Alberto and her husband Jay were there to greet her. Someone had discovered the piece of her leg that had been lost and brought it to the hospital, where it was reattached to the rest of the limb. But her anguish was not even close to being over. 6 days after the attack, Nicole was transported all the way from Mexico to Toronto by helicopter. Her father and husband had a difficult time locating a hospital bed back in Canada, but they were ultimately able to locate a team that was willing to assist Nicole in her time of need. The new medical professionals were taken aback when they discovered teeth marks on Nicole's bones. However, what truly astounded them was the fact that the woman's previous operations had been performed in such a reckless manner. Her flesh was rotting. There was a mixture of salt water and sand in the bandaging that was on her thigh, and her thigh had been amputated. She decided to stay and fight for her life and the lives of her children. She overcame every problem and every bout of pain. She chose not to hate the shark because she had been in its natural habitat. Shark attacks are very rare in Cancun. In fact, there have only been 40 shark attacks in all of Mexico in the last 450 years. 11 months after her accident, Nicole went back to Cancun and even swam in the water where she almost drowned. Now she is a motivational speaker. That's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to share and press the bell icon for more regular updates.